Right. Right.
Good afternoon, Andy and Amanda, and how are you this evening?
Yeah, a little bit tired. But yeah, it's been a good day today.
Okay.
Yeah, been a bit closer Monday. Yeah, it's been an okay day today. It's been Monday, isn't it? So, and it's because have you seen the weather forecast, you two? It looks like towards the end of the week we're heading into a minor heat wave in August as well.
It's just unbelievable and unpredictable. Now it looks like it's going to rain, but it hasn't. And it's really dense, humid.
Yeah, it's been very, very humid today from work class for Sean coming, but I wasn't boiling. What's it like for you, Monday?
I was very warm when I was out walking. The first time I went out, I took a coat and I had to carry it all the way.
You can't win, can you, Colleen? Because like it was, we went to go meet some friends of ours on Saturday, and we walked down the canal and walked up to where the Asda is near us. And it's not brand place, but it's not the school we walked past. And we walked about 4 miles, didn't we?
Yeah.
And when we left, it was trying to rain on Saturday. Until we got down to go meet our friends, the sun came out. So you can't win. So we're carrying coats around all day. So crazy. So anyway, Colleen. Okay, right. I've got a bit of topic on that. I'll talk to you two a bit about tonight. I do have a ghost story. But this has come up actually, and I'll come on to that in a minute. I need to get the information up for that. But I was listening to a radio program before, and it came up with quite an innovative way of how to get rid of global warming. Would you believe?
That's interesting. I want to hear more about this one.
Yeah. Told you a little bit about it, didn't I? Where you know when Voyager 2 went out in the exploration for mankind in the late 70s. Do you remember what happened when it got to Jupiter?
No, I can't remember that one.
What happened with Jupiter was they used Jupiter like what do they call it? Ping yo-yo. Where you learn a ball off a string.
Pinball.
Pinball, like the string thing like that. Yeah. And what he did is they used the Voyager 2 to ping pong off Jupiter's atmosphere, so they go straight towards Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto and beyond. So, but what it did was it actually changed Jupiter's orbit just very, very short, very a little bit. Apparently, the suggestions come up by some scientists is if they did this for Earth, just change the orbits very, very slightly, it could actually get rid of global warming.
You must have read my mind, because this is spooky again, because one of the events that I saw when looking at unusual happenings is planet Saturn is seen in the sky, image of it. And the host was saying that if Saturn was that close, Earth would have moved out of its orbit, because it's so visible in the skyline.
Yes. There was talk going around. Was it NASA said this about the moon as well? Oh, and I forgot. I've got this wrong as well. Where something to do with the reckon, because where the moon's come out at the moment, we're going to be having bad storms in the 2030s. Really, really bad storms apparently, at the level we've never seen before. So. But it does make you wonder, doesn't it? Like you think you've had really bad floods in London, Colleen, haven't you, over the past couple of weeks? I've heard about that. I know somebody else has had it.
Yeah, definitely. So you're saying that with the moon coming closer to the Earth, there'll be more floods and.
Something to do with the moon. I forgot what it was. Was it the way the moon was tilting in its orbit, facing Earth, or was it coming closer? I can't remember. I read something like NASA saying that the other day. But then it's saying if you look like if they can technically just tilt the Earth's orbit slightly, perhaps using meteors coming near us, it does make you wonder what on earth could they do to the Earth. Because you think you've gone through it, the mathematics and that would have to be absolutely incredible, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if it's possible, but what if it goes wrong and it has the opposite effect?
I know. Well, it does make you wonder, doesn't it? So it's really scary, that.
So in other words, you're saying that to tilt the Earth slightly might just make it go really over the board and become a place where lots of different interruptions and disruptions happen.
Yeah, I think it would do. I think it would do. I'm not sure if it's something I believe, but it was a fascinating thing to think about. You go think about that. It's like it shows you that on a planet, like it was. Have you both read much on the flat Earth theory?
No.
Have you been
I know
on?
the flat earthers have got members all around the world.
Yeah, that's one that comes up every now and then. I actually stated to me briefly that I actually believe the flat Earth theory.
Oh dear.
Depends on what we did last, but yeah, partly. But what's your opinion, Clean, on that?
You've been on an airplane, haven't you? And I think you said you went to Cyprus. And I've been to Miami a long time ago and to Israel for it was a tour around the Holy Land. And I did see that I often look at the sky and it is round in my view. It is round. The earth, you can see it curves. So I think it's round, not flat.
Yeah, I do as well. But it's something that comes up every now and then. We get strange things coming up. And another one that came up was, I've read this the other day as well. I've been reading some rubbish all weekend now. And this apparently where they reckon, with as humanity, where our eyes are focused, we look at things the way they are now. But the reality is we're the other way around. So we're walking on the ceiling, basically.
That sounds like fun. It's like that song, Dancing on the Ceiling.
Yeah, that's where Dancing on the Ceiling comes from. I've read some very, very strange theories the past couple of days, but yeah.
We have a lot of strange theories out there, but I don't think a lot of them are true.
No, I said it's just been some bizarre stuff. So, do you want to go story, Colleen, as well?
Yeah, sounds interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I've got one. I was speaking to one of my mates the other day, actually, and I'm not going to name him. Amanda knows this young gentleman, and he was in recently in a pub in Bolton called. I'm trying to find it now for you. The Old Man and Scythe. And the Old Man and Scythe actually is one of the oldest pubs in England. It was originally built in, would you believe it's clean, 1253 or 1251 actually.
It will have ghosts then, if it's that old.
Yeah. It was the ghost story itself, and this is the one that where we believe that actually was the case was there was something around about 1651 where the Earl of Derby, there was a gentleman called James Stanley, was executed right outside the pub for his part in the Bolton massacre. And that's all you work at the times and that, that's where the Cromwell had been, wasn't it?
I don't know.
No, it could have been a bit later than that. Bolton massacre, which is also on the storming of Bolton, where it happened in the Civil War. Yeah, and where the Royalist forces stormed, captured, slaughtered 1,600 people. Yeah, and the talk going on about that one is I'd heard it before. And in that pub, you can see some of the royalists in there. And rumour has it, the gentleman that got executed as well. Because I have been in it, and it's a strange old pub. It's got a real musky smell in it. Have you two been in a pub that's sort of old?
I don't know.
There is some in England, very, very old pubs, and it's when you go in them, they're really quite dark and foreboding nearly. That's why a lot of the more modern bars are nowadays quite bright. When you go to the older ones like that, it's the darkness in them, and I believe I've not seen it, but my mate was telling me he was in there recently. I just opened up. He went in there with his mate for 2 pints of ale, came back into the back room, and something came through the walls in the middle of the day.
Are you sure he just had 2 pints of ale and maybe not like 22 pints of ale?
No. He's a pothead, so that's all I'm going to say. But
well,
it wasn't.
That might be why.
No, but it was probably that was his bad luck off the ones. They've been fairly straight. But it's one of those things really where it's when you get told pubs like that, Amanda, I'm sure you'd agree, Clean. Older the pub goes, there is some sort of history there, isn't there, really, all the time?
Yeah, and there'll always be some happenings or strange sightings at places like that because they've got history.
Yeah, true. That's what I'm into. It's fine. You can write stuff. It's England's like that. And you made me think of that, Clean, when we talk a lot about the underground in the past couple of weeks in London. And I think really like when you're looking at it like that, London's got the oldest one in England. And so like Manchester, we can't compete with it. We've underground on Metrolink was formed in 1982, and something like where Mandalay comes from, Bradford, you haven't got anything like an underground
No,
anything
we've
like
got
that, have you? So
nothing like that.
you've only got
Well,
dodgy,
the
rickety bus service.
fanciest thing we've got is on the main road into town. Was like a guided bus lane with it's a bit weird that none of the cars can go on, just a bus, and it was sort of set up a bit. It looks a bit like it's a bit as thin like the tram thing, but the bus goes on it. It's not like a proper tram though.
Yeah, so I said, I think it shows you, like I said, if you're looking at it, something very worth bearing in mind is in any city really, and that's got a set of anything like a local or light railway system or underground, the older it gets, and it's because you're going to find stories. There is little stories. You went through, was it last week and the week before, Colleen, didn't you?
Exactly.
And like when
They
you
were
listed tons of stories, they were
scary
incredible
stuff.
stories.
Really scary though. The image of the Bruno Hausmann from the waxworks in Madame Tussauds being in the reflection, and him coming back to tell the lady that it was him, but he did something else. It's another story. It's another dimension, isn't it?
Yeah,
You
it
wonder.
does make you wonder as well. Is that's a good point actually. Yes, Sophie, we made word both of the dimension there. Is some of these things that are creeping into this world, are they from this world?
I don't think
Is
so,
it
because
more-
sometimes when you're walking down the street and you're in a crowded area and you find people are going right across you, suddenly coming across you, you're thinking they haven't seen you and they're going in that same direction like a tangent, like they're determined to go in that direction. Could also be that they're from another world. You just don't know, because how is it that when you're in a crowded street and they come at you, like walk straight diagonally right across you and not bump into you? Isn't
Yeah,
that strange? And not bump into someone else either. They don't bump into anybody else. They just go right across.
yeah, that's a good
That,
point.
that
Good
could
point.
be
I've seen a photograph last week as well, and it looks like it probably is fake. Where from the 1940s, when it's been focused on a few times as by people now, preventing these sort of paranoid debunkers, and they can't quite get it right. Where in the beach in America, someone sat there with a mobile phone in the hand. No, have you seriously? Have you both heard about this?
No, I haven't heard that.
no.
So what's your opinion?
I've seen
What's your
videos.
opinion of time travel claim?
Oh no, it's definitely true. I've seen some videos where you look in the old pictures of 1940s on a race course, and you see this person in a modern day clothing with a mobile phone, and it's not imposed on it. You can see that person in the crowd themselves, but with glasses, sunglasses, and it looks like part of the picture, but not there, but someone has taken the photo.
Yeah, there was a film knocking around some years ago, American sci-fi film, and I've forgotten the name of it, where, see if you two can remember this, where it was, the prediction is that in the future, you're going to be able to come back into time with crowds of people and watch catastrophes happen.
But why would you want to do that?
Exactly, Amanda, I agree with you.
Yeah, he said there's a film knocking on that was where, and a cop basically got quite fancy this woman, and they realised then they were here gang of them, they were here for something horrible, to watch something horrible. But there's a voyeurism in society, and we had a car crash on the back of us. We talked about this clean already.
Yeah,
On the back of our flat the other week.
that's
I'm somebody upstairs, our neighbour upstairs woke us both up. And I had to go and look around the side and find out what was going on, because there were bright lights flashing. And this woman had been run over by a car, and they've got the driver now. Killed her sadly. But there was 40 odd people out there was. And it just made you wonder that not all people would have seen that. There's something in society where something horrible happened. It draws people to it.
That's really sad, because I think there'd be so much going on at the moment with all this pandemic that the last thing you'd want to see is a car crash.
Yeah,
Or go back.
15 minutes claim.
Okay, ta-ra everybody, enjoy.
All right, guys. See you next time. Bye.